All right, for 2.2 Integrated Math B, we're also looking at angle relationships with parallel lines. So we've got this sample problem we'll look at from your Khan Academy, a couple of sample problems. All right, so below are two parallel lines. How do we know they're parallel? Remember, those arrows are telling us they're going in the same direction. Remember from Unit 1, we learned that parallel lines, right, they have the same slope. They're going in the same direction, right? So this is in geometry. This is how we note the notation for that, is we just have these like little arrows showing they're going in the same direction, right? Because the arrows are going in the same direction, going to the like upper left side. All right, so they're telling us they're parallel, and this third line is intersecting the parallel lines. And as we've learned, something fancy happens when that line intersects. And what this line is called, sorry, I was missing my pen. This is called our transversal line. So it's transversal, it's transversing, it's cutting through, intersecting these two parallel lines. So our goal is to figure out what is x when they give us this measurement. And I know I said before to remember those arcs. When we see those arcs, they mean they're parallel. For Khan Academy, they're just saying like this is the specific angle they're talking about. So we're going to kind of disregard what that arc means. I think them putting it in different colors too is to try to like tell you like they're two different angles. So they're actually not congruent. We're going to figure it out. All right. So how do we do this? Well, we can start with what's given and we can kind of work our way around. There are so many different methods for this, for solving this. Remember the Math is Fun link that I sent you guys to on transversal lines, transversal, with parallel lines, angle relationships. It showed you to remember that there were only two angles. So when we have this situation where it looks like this, there's only gonna be two angles. So we can kind of just like plug it in. All right, this is a, whoa. These guys are vertical. Oh, no. Let me try this again. It won't let me draw. Okay, let me get rid of it. Try it again. Rude. Okay. Can I do it with my pen? I can't. Haha. Okay. Bring it in the backup. All right. This guy over here is 103 degrees. How do we know? Because those are parallel, or excuse me, parallel. They're vertical angles. These guys are parallel. Vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent. All right, from here, we know alternate interior angles are congruent. So this guy's also 103. And then again, vertical angles, this one's also 103. So notice that x was not included, right? It wasn't like, oh, and there's x, it just equals the same thing. Unfortunately, not for this. But if we know this is x, then this is x, because vertical angles, and then alternate interior, and then vertical, right? Or alternate exterior. You can kind of jump around a lot. The point being, that's right, I did not use that one. The point being, I gotta pick a new color. Point being that 103 and x, they're not equal, right? Remember, there's only two numbers that are gonna be occurring when we've got this angle relationship. X was not equal to 103, but we could figure out what it does equal because these guys are supplementary, right? So this is 180 degrees. We know this one's 103. We can just do 180 minus 103 to figure out what x is. So if we work it out and we find out, darn it, they're not congruent, right? It's okay because all it means is we just got to find the other angle, which is we just subtract it from 180. So 180 minus 103 is going to give us 77 degrees. So that is the measure of angle x. So all of these we could update and change to be 77, 77, 77, 77 degrees. All right, remember there's only two angles. I went through this kind of like it took a while. I'm not gonna lie, it took a while for me to get through this problem. As you get more confident, just like with anything in math, as you get more confident and comfortable, it's not going to take you quite this long. So let's plug it in. Let's try one more together. All right, so we've got a new visual, 116 in X. I'd say for saving us time might be easier to start off with seeing, are they congruent? Are they in fact congruent? You can still jump around and, vertical angles and then alternate exterior, blah, blah. But let's just check. Do we know what kind of angle pair relationship that is? So let's just kind of draw it out as a reference. We're looking at this angle up here, X, and this angle down here, which is 116. Does that ring a bell? Does that remind us of something? Think about that. These ones are corresponding. Corresponding. Remember, in class I told you guys corresponding, we like to think of it, it's almost like we're imagining like we're playing Fortnite with our friends and we're like, okay, this is like their screen, what they're seeing, and this is our screen. And we're like, okay, like they're like, where are you at? We're like, I'm in the upper left quadrant of Tomato Town or something. I don't know. And you're like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get there. Upper left quadrant, right? It's like you're matching. It's like just like location, upper left, lower right, something like that. So corresponding is it's right, just like the name suggests, corresponding. It's matching, matching in location. All right, so this one was a nice one. Look at us. It just equals 116. Bam. Let's plug it in. 116. And check. I'd recommend if we're having still trouble with this topic for our class in our notes folder, I did add an angle relationship whole chart. I'd recommend having that open. You're welcome to use it also for your quiz. That's going to be super helpful. But along the way, as always, any questions, let me know. Good luck, guys. Take care. Bye.